Hello, my name is Kalli Citurs, and after reading the Professional Dispositions of Learners document as well as taking the self-assessment, I currently think that I possess 9 out of the 10 dispositions that were discussed. I currently am an early childhood education teacher, so I think that has a lot to do with why I already possess 9 out of the 10. There was only one that I thought I need to work on, and I didn't at first when I was reading through the dispositions, but then when I was taking my self-assessment, I realized that it's something that I think a lot of people need to work on, so we'll go through those. The first one being high expectations. I hold high but also realistic expectations for my students each day. I work with kids between 2 and 5, so being able to know and understand what to expect of them is very important and is something that I have learned to do. As for diversity, I come across diversity every day with my students, with parents of my students, with my coworkers. It is just something that I've become comfortable with as I've been exposed to it throughout my whole life. As for professional conduct, I think just maintaining professionalism is really important, and I've just learned to do that through my work. I think that's just a skill that comes through experience, and in my experience, I think I've had enough to maintain that professionalism. As for reflection, I think that goes hand in hand with expectations, being able to reflect on myself as an educator, as well as reflect on my students and what I expect of them and reflect on how they are doing. The next one being curiosity. I teach early childhood, so my kiddos, they're curious about everything. So I work a lot with exploring and examining and innovating and doing all the things because a lot of what I'm doing with the kids in my class is brand new to them. I'm the one who's exposing them to everything. So curiosity is a big one. As for honesty, that's something that I teach in my class as well because they're so little. It's very difficult for little ones to learn how to be honest. So I try to be the best role model, to be honest in front of them as well as honest in my personal life. Compassion, just providing that warmth and that comfort and that place for students, but kind of also coworkers. You need to have compassion for those you're working with, and I think that's something that I do on a daily basis. As for advocacy, I advocate for myself as an educator to my board, as well as I advocate for my students when I think they need something or something needs a change. That's just something that I do. As for dedication, I am very dedicated to education, and I'm very dedicated to the education of the future. I currently teach early childhood, and I plan on teaching elementary education, so it is something that I'm just very committed to and very dedicated to. As for the dispositions that I need to work on, I think the big one is fairness. Life isn't fair, and that's a very hard reality for some, and it's a very tough thing to work with. I'm working on it now. I think my struggle is because the age difference in my class is so big between 2 and 5. That developmental difference is very hard, and finding that fairness between how I'm reacting and how I'm the expectations I have, just finding that fairness and being able to commit to it. These dispositions demonstrate my ability to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences. I think because I possess so many of these, they kind of just provide an insight to these cultures and genders and disabilities. I work with kiddos in my class with learning disabilities as well as those different genders and cultures. It's just something that you're exposed to and have to work with. As for bias, it's just something that you have to overcome. It's in not only your professional life, but your personal life as well, and it's just something that you need to be able to draw a line, knowing the difference between what is equal with all your students, or if you know a student coming in and you don't know a student coming in, being able to draw the line of I'm not going to give someone special treatment or someone not special treatment, just being able to evaluate yourself and be able to understand how you need to handle that situation. As for how I anticipate to react to feedback of evaluations, that's something I already deal with. I actually have a evaluation this week, so we will see how I am evaluated. I plan to take it how it is. If it's very critical, I will take that information and I will make sure I work on it, and I work on myself, and I work on myself as an educator, being able to do the best that I can. I think it's very important to take the feedback and really listen to it, because whatever the feedback is, sometimes it's hard to see yourself, but it is something that is important for you, but also your students. So, thanks. Bye-bye.